I'll have to look at that later. Anyways, last time we left off, you guys finished. You finished the campaign.
Yay!
No.
And we did level up.
Really?
No way.
No.
That is like the
We
most
finished the first
random
arc.
little tower that you guys went into for reasons.
For 3 months?
For like 6 days.
I mean, real time, it was like 3 months.
It's all an illusion.
That's
so it
true,
could've
that's
been
true.
Instantaneous.
Well, let's not jump ahead of ourselves, Damon.
I know, dude. It's not actually an illusion. It's all real.
No, it's not. But I like it. So you guys managed to finish the last challenge, despite Mercadian not allowing you to rest and attempting to push you guys to your limits. I don't think anybody was particularly close to dying. I think Haldir kind of got a little close at some points, but everybody made it through relatively unscathed. And you guys proceeded to the final chamber of this tower, where there was a wall like halfway through it and separating yourself from the treasure. Mercadian collected the items that you guys had. Well, he actually already had them on him. But he used the items that you guys had collected as you progressed through the tower to open up the door. And once you did, you were met with a whole lot of nothing. Just that the throne room, or the treasure room, had been completely wiped out. Mercadian said it was something to the effect of a djinn came through and stole it. He wasn't very specific. But he said that happened, but he said also that the crown hadn't been taken. He led you guys to a hidden compartment in the back, opened it up, held the crown in his hands for a few moments, and then timidly handed it off to you guys. So now, in your possession is the crown of Dolomith, who was the king of the Hollow Peaks, apparently a big dick baller in some capacity among the dwarves who existed here prior to your people's arriving on Vanthisham. And that's kind of where we left off. So the crown itself, I don't know how much I described it before, but it does have that large pearl at its crest. But it is a silver circlet that holds it, and towards the front there's some more adornment in the sense that 2 bits of silver kind of come down over the temples, and the jade serpents that you guys recall collecting. There is one that's on each temple. And then there's one that kind of also comes down on a bit of a nose guard that comes down just a little bit on the crown. And then at the back of the crown, there is a small jet black skull that just kind of like rests behind your head neatly, if you were to put it on. But who's holding the crown right now? Who?
I am.
You are. Okay. Got a lot of power in your hands. What do you guys want to do? Mercadian is watching you with anticipation. It seems like he's on the verge of wanting to say something as well, but he's holding off at the moment.
So, what are we doing, friends? I think you know where I stand on this.
I'm in agreement with you, Kiro.
Remind me where we stand again.
I purify the dragon.
Okay. I mean, I do know, but I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think
he
you've
was
ever
hoping
said
to
it
purify the
aloud.
dragon.
The dragon's blocking us outside. B, it'd be cool to, have a dragon on our side and ride around a dragon.
That's not entirely correct, Mercadian chimes in. there is actually another way for you to move yourself through the ash hold, and that's actually through a lift. That's really only available to somebody who's wearing that crown. And he runs his hand across the wall, and once again, a doorway appears, and as it slides open, there is a small chamber. He remarks, "This is what Dolometh would use to move quickly through the ash hold, and this would take you anywhere you would want to go, from forge to the throne room to the base level of this tower. There's many entrances and exits. You wouldn't have to pass through that dragon."
Are we
I mean-
still trying to figure out if we are
It is still a
going to
close
talk to this
case.
dragon? Don't we? Didn't we want to see if what its opinion on what certain things were?
Well, he's corrupted and evil right now, and right now he wants, as a corrupted dragon, he does want the pearl, he said, and that he would eat us otherwise. I think that was the gist.
Yep. That was the threat of it. Yeah, he's going to
Yeah.
eat you.
We have a lot more information about that.
But he
dragon
promised
now.
not
We
to
could
eat us
probably
if we
talk
got
to
him the
and
pearl, though.
give him information about
Well,
him
give
that
him
we
the
know
pearl.
that he doesn't know that we know, and it might allow us a conversation regardless of not having quote unquote the pearl. Even though we have the crown.
Crown is the pearl.
They're both pearls in the crown.
I see. I
Wow.
thought they were different objects.
They are one and the same.
I thought you could break the pearl out of the crown.
You know, you could, but nah, it's one item right now. Might as well keep it that way.
Do you still have message, Tammin?
Yeah. It's a cantrip.
It's unbound by, I don't think you have to see the thing you
yeah, but
point
it
at.
has
You
a
can just
range of
point.
120 feet, and I have no idea where he is.
We're in a tower and he's swooping around us, as far as I know, but I mean,
I'm not
it's
going to
not-
try
it
that
doesn't
because
hurt.
it's totally unfeasible.
1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, 1 thin sheet of lead, 3 feet of wood blocks the spell. So, realistically, you would not be able to send that message inside from here.
Plus, you have to know where the individual is, and I don't at any time.
And so, Damon, as you're kind of contemplating that spell, you actually can see your hand again. You just in passing as you're gesturing or thinking about something. You see that the frost burn that was deeply present in your hand earlier has completely faded. But the sensation and the lack of ability that hand was experiencing is still there.
Okay. Interesting. So it literally just looks better. That's it. No change.
Yep. Yes.
I see. My own hand is lying to me. Well, are there any other options other than cleansing the dragon or taking or
I mean, we don't have to decide right now, right?
Yeah,
it's
are
a
we-
wish spell,
let
so
us leave.
literally.
Let us I'll
the
turn to
world is your
Mercadian and say,
oyster.
open the door for us. Let us out.
You're certainly capable of doing that yourself, and I'd be happy to show you exactly how to utilize it.
Just
it
to
will
double check.
require somebody to actually wear the crown.
Out of curiosity, we were told it was a wish spell inside the pearl, right?
Yes, the crown is capable of granting a wish about once every 100 years.
We could wish for our father back, Misha says.
I mean,
Kind of looking around at everybody.
I like that
We could.
idea, Misha.
I don't
It is a
like that.
selfish
That's a
wish.
terrible idea.
yeah, I don't know what
It
he
is a selfish wish, but
at this point. We
How
know what we need
heartless.
to do.
is it any more heartless than wanting to rip off someone's head and drink their blood?
Is that an
Did
option?
that.
I suppose she's looking at Yane while she says that.
Yes, I would say it's significantly more heartless.
How so? It is a wish.
The fate of the world rides in the balance, so I would like to utilize this to the.
True, but maybe he could fix it. It is an idea. I will just throw it out
I
there.
guess
I don't know who this man is you're speaking of. I imagine he is quite the person, but if the fate of the world is what you're kind of intending to save,
Would you shut the fuck up?
Whoa.
I guess I will just step away for today.
Ask 700 times a day. Same question.
All right, so what are we gonna do? We can talk about it right now. Obviously,
I
I mean, one of
If
us
we
puts
put
it
the
don't know.
crown on, do
we
we
give
have
it
to
to
use
him?
the wish right away? I mean, let's just walk out of here with the crown on.
Right. We don't need to use the wish.
That's my point. He says you can leave if you wear the crown, so let's put the crown on.
Can we create a fake pearl and give it to the
How would
fucking
we do
dragon
that?
and
I
run?
don't think that that's gonna fool anyone.
What would you make a fake item with?
I don't know.
I don't think we have a fabrication
I'm not one of those
spell.
people.
I don't think
You
we have
guys-
a fabrication spell or whatever it's called.
I think that if we were gonna do something, it would probably make sense to purify the dragon. But I don't think that it's necessarily. I would like to do that or not wish for anything at the moment because I really don't fucking know what. I don't feel like
Right,
we have
so-
enough information about other things.
If we use the crown to purify the dragon, then we're out of a wish. Now we have a dragon. Then what? I mean,
Well, he knew how to stop the blight thingy.
okay, that's a good plan. It's better than anything else we have.
Mercadian. As far as I'm aware, Mercadian doesn't. There was something that happened there that wasn't good, and we don't trust him. So
Right? Can't we
Yeah,
find that out
he-
from
he-
the
he-
purified
he-
dragon?
Kind of, a bit of
He
a.
literally lied to us multiple times.
He wasn't like being a giant sketch ball. That option would be really
He's just lying by
unpleasant.
omitting truth too much for me to trust him.
Right. So we just leave him here. Fuck him.
No, like that's why I was saying he talked
Yeah, obviously
to
the dragon is
drag- No, I know, but I'm saying we
Right,
talk the
maybe.
dragon, and the elf isn't an asshole. I can give the dragon the pearl, and he can wait 100 years.
What is 100 years to a dragon anyway?
Exactly.
So let's not make the decision now, and let's put the crown on and leave.
I mean, do we know this lift isn't bullshit? Then he's lying to us again.
We don't know anything. Let's get out of this fucking tower. At least then I'll be able to trust reality again for a moment.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Put
guess
the
I'll
crown on, Carol.
don the crown.
Okay. You set it onto your head, and it adjusts almost simultaneously to you placing it. Nothing happens immediately as you place it on your head.
Kirill dies.
Immediately falls into
I have
I've lost control of your character.
Yeah.
By a dwarf that's been dead for 300 years.
Yeah.
Walk toward a wall, dude.
Okay, let's see. Let's look at that chamber that the elf pointed at.
Sure. Yeah, that's just a small chamber that could fit probably 15 people if they packed in pretty tightly. It's a small cylindrical room. And Mercadian just kind of chimes in. So, yeah, you do have to actually commune with the crown and attune to it. But also, before you go, I understand. It's not in the cards. You're not going to free me. That's fine. do whatever you wish with your wish. But if you'd be so kind, and I wouldn't be asking this freely, but once I teach you how to utilize the crown, a lot of systems will be opened up to you. You'll be able to control some of the biomes and essentially create some of the most powerful weaponry in the world. Well, with the help of other people, but you could do it. And I want you to be able to do that. I really do. But I also don't want to be stuck in here for 100 years knowing full well that the crown is gone and I'm very likely not to ever come back to life. So if once I teach you how to modify some of these traits on, for example, that lift, would you then erase my memory?
How would you propose we do such a thing?
The wearer of the crown can do many things. And he turns his head a little bit, waves away the illusion at the back of his skull, and he points at some rune markings. Simple modifications here, and voila.
Yeah, I
My
guess
memory's gone.
we could do that.
That would be very kind, very least. And he kind of walks into the room and starts to hold his hand over, just kind of near the door. There's this small indentation, and as he runs his hand over it, you can see runes and markings pop up, and it almost looks exactly like an elevator panel where you can press any key and it'll take you to that floor. The markings, for the most part, are all in this dwarvish, runic type of language that you can read some of Haldir, and for most of it, it's very obvious. I mean, it's like just numberings where you see it going positive to 7, and then it goes negative 48. And in between those 48, there's some words that hold. Now, I can't personally utilize this, but once you attune, you'll be able to take yourself and your friends to any destination you so choose. To kind of sweeten the deal and ensure that you do actually impart that gift, I do recall the name of the djinn who stole all of these goods, and as far as I know, still resides in the mountain. We had a brief conversation. If you wanted to collect the rest of what is rightfully yours, that would be yours for the taking.
That would be nice. So it won't consume the wish to erase your memory. No.
No, absolutely not. But if you wanted to, you could just make me human again. Well, not human. Excuse me. Well, no. You could make me a solar elf again, and that would also be, just perfectly fine. But in any case, let the magic reside in you, and let your spirit flow into the crown for a few moments, and you should start to feel some of the effects.
I'll do.
Okay. I have to kind of take a short rest to attune to the item. Is that kosher with everybody else?
I would take
Kosher.
a long
Yeah, I'm
rest,
down.
but I'm okay with a short rest.
Sure.
Yep.
So you take a few moments and you focus in on the magic of the crown. And as you do this and you start to feel the effects of this artifact taking hold in you, the first thing that you notice is just kind of this additional awareness of what is happening around you and in the stone around you in particular. You can see traces of magical energy moving up and down through the walls that surround you and your friends, Kirill. You also feel just more vital. Like you feel heartier, and you feel your blood pumping clean, bro, clean. You just ran a mile, and you're like, you're not panting for breath. Your heart's just really pumping. And other than that, nothing particular comes to mind. But as the magic starts to resonate with you, you start to understand some of the functions. The rune markings and all that, that's a bunch of nonsense. You're not exactly sure what you can do with that, but you know that this crown has the capabilities of protecting you from certain schools of magic temporarily. And you can also feel that there's an aspect of launching these serpents to both inflict harm and to aid others as well.
Serpents.
Temples in the nose bridge, and then also the wish. I mean, you can very clearly and almost very temptingly feel that that power to bringing massive amounts of energy and magical powers to cause something to conform to your will. And yeah, I will type a card up for you in a little bit, but that's what you sense right now.
Okay. Well, I guess without this wish, without expending the wish, I would like to see if I can try to wipe this dude's memory.
So you kind of
Right now.
like reach for him, and he's like, "Oh, well, you know, I have to show you how to do the other things first, of course."
Sure.
So, and he kind of runs down and gives you a crash course, essentially, on how to utilize these rune pads that are located throughout the Hollow Peaks, and in particular the one that you're at right now. I'd like you to make a Arcana check.
Oh.
Oof! Wow. Yeah, you get it. This is making sense to you. So for your character sheet, just write down that you can utilize the Hollow Peaks energy as you have the crown, and you know how to. And this kind of is a longer process. You might even want to be taking notes as he's running through things. But you seem to retain it very, very well. And then so finally, the Freddy that you're searching for, I believe he resides someplace below us, and to the south a ways, as he kind of like was almost searching his memories. And his name is Druhinishadu. And I know that's probably not an easy name for you to say, obviously, being humans, but it's kind of irrelevant. As long as you know where he is and you know that he's still here, which I think he is. It didn't seem like he had intents to go anywhere else. Should amass quite a bit of treasure. Because for one, he was bragging to me as he was stealing stuff that I was supposed to protect, that he had even more valuables. Apparently, he claims himself to be quite the thief. In any case, the crown is yours, the Hollow Peaks are yours, and whatever residents still reside in the Ashhold, I guess owe you allegiance. All that aside, it's just been a wonderful few hours with you all. I should say that these events that transpired were very rapid. The reason that I didn't allow you to rest on that last one is I just didn't have the time to expend. The energies in this tower are waning rather quickly. We've been here, 4 days? So, in reality, it's been about 4 or 5 hours since you first stepped in. Oh, I don't know how that changes your schedule, but hopefully you can do some more with those few extra days you have. Now, if you would, Kirill, and he points to the back of his neck, at the base of his skull, and you see 4 lines of code, essentially, that are present, and they go vertically down the back. He taps at the third one. He says, simply remove this, and I will forget. Lose a good portion of my inhibition and, well, not inhibition, yeah, free will, but it'd be better to not know that I'm essentially guarding nothing for the eternity that I'm sure awaits me.
Now, do I know some of the Crown's capability because it attunes me. Can I just kind of delete him? That seems a little more humane. That seems a little more humane than like making some amnesiacs in the tower for all eternity.
He is an extraordinarily complex being, and there are tons and tons of lines that run across him as he kind of like fades away the illusion a little bit. One so that you can see the back of school, but in just the appears that he's running out of energy to a certain extent. It's possible you could do it, but you would have to spend some time looking at this to figure out how exactly to dismantle him in his entirety, especially since you can't really read a lot of the runes. So
yeah, it's like ancient dwarf, and I only speak regular dwarven.
Exactly, it's a different dialect as well, and it's also this. It's not the written language; it's arcane runes.
I'll just wipe away the line to erase his memory.
Okay. You see his shoulders kind of slump after you do that. I mean, it's almost like a bit of his life is just kind of fled from him. What little there was in this being to begin with. After a few moments, it kind of resumes its normal posture. It kind of assesses you all. But doesn't do anything. Doesn't react.
You alright there, buddy?
At that point. It's almost like searching for the words to say, or like a response almost. And it almost it there's like this bare tinge to its mouth, and then it kind of like stops and just looks straight ahead.
All right, let's take a look at this list.
Sure.
Because I don't know how far away we can move that a giant flying beast can not track us.
Right. So, as you recall, when you entered into this hollow peak, which the hollow peaks are made up of, I think, 7 hollowed out mountain peaks, and you guys are in the centered one. It's kind of like a hub to the others, and in it is the ash hold, which is that like pine cone structure that was hanging from the middle of the peak that you were in, and that's where the tower was located. And you guys were on top of that structure, kind of like the highway through it. And the dragon was sitting at the base of the tower, at the top of that fort. You now have access to move anywhere throughout that fort, vertically at the very least. And so potentially you could move around him to the bottom of the peak. You could move directly towards him by just moving to the bottom of the tower that you're currently in. The Mercadian showed you the location of the throne room through that, and he also showed you guys where the foundry was, or where they created those weapons, and that's at the base of this structure. So you do have some options on where you want to go. What would you like to do?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that in all those hollow peaks that no one would know where the fucking our goal is, because I'm assuming that my players moved in after the one that was long dead.
I don't even remember what the hell we were doing here.
We were trying to go to there was some mind flayers, and they were like imprisoning the soul of our gods or something.
We were looking.
Yeah, there's the god right there.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I was definitely about coming for saving dogs.
Yeah. So you guys had two reasons to come here. One, you didn't really care too much about, and that was probably, Nash.
A while ago.
Nash's, yes. Nash had requested that you go into the Hollow Peaks and that you find a Jinn who was making weapons for his father, Menethok, and he wanted you to stop him from doing that. However, you saw fit, and he gave you that little talisman that lets you summon Jimdar and Nakar, who can help you do things. I mean, he could turn invisible and communicate as well with Nash. The other thing that you guys were coming there to do was you knew previously that the only place that what's his name? The wizard, the one that founded the religion. Yes, Lycidas. That's the guy.
Oh yes,
Lycidas.
his soul is like somewhat half part.
It's trapped in here.
Yes, it's trapped in. Well, you knew from his text, from what he had written before, that he was heading to the Hollow Peaks. That was the last place that he was headed.
Why we actually came to the mountain.
Yes, and then the giants that you ran into along the road. One of them,
Stoner giant.
yes, yeah, the stoner giant. He said that there's something that's harming your guys' gods, the Van Rotha and Van Viscott, in the mountains. It's draining them of their capabilities, their powers, and that's kind of why you guys came here. Also,
And didn't we have something to do with Yane's people or something too, or no?
Well, we kind of fled here, and after they decided to do not a suicide attack on King What's His Fuck.
Yes.
It's King what's his fuck.
Yes,
The
King
family
what's his
name.
fuck. Yes, that the band of Unum, after they got mostly torched in Salura, came to Jelrin. You guys caught up with them a little bit. Vince apparently was a betrayer guy in your midst, and he tried to jump you guys. He was apparently part of the Disfigured. But you caught up with the rest of the band, which was mostly just the higher-ups who had survived, and only really half of those. And they said that they were going to mount an attack on Menethok, but you guys were not equipped to be utilized in the assault. Not really. So he said, go find something to do. And if you guys do want to partake in the attack, he gave you like 3 weeks time before they were actually going to do anything. So they had to kind of figure out exactly what they wanted to do. You guys spent
the flying castle, right?
Yes, that had crash landed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's where you guys were. And then you guys went in, you fought the Bahir, yada yada yada. But you also heard from that dwarf at the Blast Zone Inn, that tavern that you guys went to, and they had stated that there is like a city of the dwarves that's is to the south. It's just one of the hollow peaks. Is like there's like a real proper city down there instead of just like a fortress that you're on top of. And inside that city, they found horrors, I would say, at the very least. And they were subjected to some charm effects, and he ended up killing his party members in pretty horrific ways. And yeah. So you know that there's some pretty nasty shit that you guys are moving into, right?
Well, the problem is I don't know, like, move the channel. There it is. I guess we could talk to Jindar in the car because, like, you know, people we were associated with kind of, you know, committed a mass terrorist plan on carrying the giant terrorist attack, you know, against the rulers. So I don't know if our request with Nash is even still valid. If the guy's still alive, if we're wanted, you know, whatever the fuck is happening.
Yeah, so there's a lot of shit going on.
I think we should just continue towards trying to free the Godmen from the Mind Flayers. And I don't remember. I think we had like an idea somewhat of where that was.
Well, the guy had described to us, like sort of like a, I don't remember 100%, but they went into some type of, I don't want to call it a fortress, but some kind of labyrinth, and there were like treasure everywhere, but then his fucking guys got mind controlled. So it was some kind of fortress building of some kind, I think.
Mm-hmm. That was the very last part of his story. If you want to make a history check real quick, it wasn't that long ago.
I mean, if we were in here for 5 hours, I guess
it felt like sure felt like it was days.
Maybe it was like a week or two. Then I don't know how long we've technically been traveling toward here. I'll make a history check, although it is not my forte.
Yeah, that's fine. So you remember the first part of his journey. He said that there was a couple ways to get there, but they chose to take a more established road, and they also needed to pick up some supplies from the dwarves in the Ashhold, because the way that they were going to take was through the fireways, and that's like this, lava stems. What's it called? Veins that have dried out to some extent through the bottom portion of the Hollow Peaks. And he described that they'd pick up basically potions so that they could actually breathe the air and move around and ward off the heat as they went through there. And he said that they fought some types of scaled creatures down there as well. And then they went into the city proper up underneath, because the gateway that led into the city proper, had been destroyed because they had lost it to the Mind Flayers and whatever else is in there. And then once they got in there, it was basically like a labyrinth of a city. They were walking around, found some treasure, got ganked.
Yeah.
They like slid down like a fucking
there's like a trap.
Yeah.
So it's not so much that we necessarily know exactly where it is, but we know like the rough path they took to find the place. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Part of this means that the Ashhold wasn't desolate a recent amount of time ago.
Oh yeah, no. I mean the corpses from the dwarves that you guys passed were fresh-ish.
Yeah.
as you guys were walking through the top portion of this tower or structure.
Well,
I guess we could go down and look for life.
there's still a dragon down there.
Well, there's a dragon. Well, the top layer. I'm assuming that if you go deeper, there's no dragon.
Pretty fair assumption.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this kingdom is built, downward or whatever.
Yes. That is a very correct assumption.
So do I know where all these numbers go?
You know, in generality, how it's a vertical lift, and you know where the throne room is, and you know where the foundry is. Those are like clearly distinguished and marked items on the board. But other than that, it's like levels of floors. They start out positive. It start out at 0, and then it goes down. It goes up 7, and it goes down 48.
So we're at 0.
You're at 7.
Oh, we're at 7. Okay, where's foundry?
It's way, way, way down at the bottom.
I don't like that. Where's the throne room?
Throne room is it's like 25 down
Out of like 48?
out of 48. Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys think? Throne room?
Yeah, why not?
Search for dwarves?
I think the throne room. I mean,
It makes most sense.
maybe then we can get like a bit of a bearing and see like what the actual, I don't know, lay of the land is like.
What was
Sure.
that?
A lay of the land.
Well, it's like,
Yeah.
I really want to.
because I imagine the floor that has the throne would have more than just that on it, like, some other things like this is like a regular ass fucking kingdom, then it would probably have like
Some kind of government building.
like other buildings and like maybe some
They usually
houses
have
or
like
something.
a roll call of things they do during a day, I would assume as well too. Like decisions in business, regardless of when or if they're alive.
Definitely. So let's go in the elevator.
Okay. So you guys all kind of hop in, and
Failure. I don't like that icon.
no, it's just
kidding.
yeah, it's just the old
The old
thing
dragon.
situation. It's the
seriously.
old dragon. Yeah. So you guys all hop in, and Kirill, you're able to utilize the runes on there, and as you tap the throne room, you can see the doors kind of slide shut in front of you, and then bars of metal kind of like materialize out of the walls, like you grasp onto them and look like handles essentially, and after a couple of moments there's this kind of like small ring, and then you guys just start shooting downwards. And if you weren't holding on to it, you are after a couple of moments, because it is incredibly it's like you get dropped in the tower, and it pulls you up, like just having the floor ripped out from underneath you essentially, but you eventually kind of catch up, move along with it, and it slows after a few moments of rapid descent until it kind of cools off to a small, slow decline, and then it stops. Feel yourself kind of shudder a little bit, and then there's a small little buzz, and the doors open up again into a pitch black room.
Can we be in the elevator and have the doors closed without it moving?
Yeah, actually, you can.
Yeah, let's.
We should take a long rest in the elevator.
Yeah, we should.
Okay,
Because I got wrecked, and I was out of hit die at the end of the last encounter.
sure.
and we weren't able to sleep earlier, so maybe now we can.
Lost Misha again.
Yeah, she's having some struggles.
Pins and needles.
So you said
Officially, it is a long rest.
yes, long rest. Is that's your intention? Everyone,
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
I
possible.
mean, we should,
Yeah, that'd be
if we feel
fantastic.
safe in there, that's a good idea.
okay.
I mean, ostensibly, you have to have the crown to use the things or something. So, well, it seems safer than everywhere else we could go.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah. So go ahead and all take your long rest. You regain half your hit die. Go to full life. Yada yada yada.
All the spell slots.
Regain all your spell slots. Gain additional spell slots as you level.
What?
Yeah, you leveled.
Damn, this is a nice
Can't
elevator.
do that right now.
You can't do that right now. This is too much. Well, you have
Well,
access to
I
it.
think we have like new
New-
we'd have to
new
pick
shit to do.
spells.
Yes, you do. I'm
Yeah.
sure you do. But you can recognize that you've got some untapped power. Just waiting to hop along. In any case, you guys all come to consciousness, and there's almost kind of like this jet lag effect, where you're not sure how long you guys were resting, because of obvious reasons. You're in a pitch dark room with no natural light source, and you've been underground for a while, but you are exhausted as you guys wake up. And even after that long rest, you guys do actually all have 1 point of exhaustion.
Oof.
That's
Hey,
skill checks. Yeah.
It is skill
It's
checks.
on
It's-
ability checks.
oop, that's the wrong
Yeah.
one.
You can you can put it on your character sheet.
There you
by
go.
the way, I figured it out last time.
You said just 1 point, right?
Yes, just 1 point.
Yeah, but saying ability checks, that's what they're called, but that's like kind of misleading. It is just skills, right?
Yes, it's the
Yeah.
skills, yeah. Because
Yeah.
you don't have disadvantage on attacks. and
Or
other
like
things that
saving
might-
throws and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Man, leveling
Many-
as a paladin's so fucking easy.
Say what?
Leveling as a
paladin's
paladin's so easy.
Yeah.
Just fucking roll a hit die. I get 2 level 3 spells now.
Yeah, you guys can roll your hit die though. That's something that's
Mm.
relatively easy to do.
I get level 3 big dick smite now.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm level
That's a rough one,
level
yeah.
9.
Wait, I thought after a long rest you recover all hit points.
You do.
You do. You're rolling hit
die.
die because you guys leveled up.
Oh.
7. Oh no.
7. It's not as bad as a 6 from Yane though. That's pretty
Wait,
scuffed.
I should
Two
roll
on a
that.
12.
Roll a
That's
2.
a 4, dude. That's pretty bad for a D10.
What did I roll? 5?
You rolled
Good.
4.
Oh, I get a
I
fear.
think I'm on track for being
Whoa.
worse than the median average.
Nice.
How much health do you have? I have.
Kirill, as part of the
Yeah, but your con is lowered,
effect
right?
of
I have more
the
than you.
crown, you gain 2 additional constitution points.
What the fuck?
Nice.
So that's 1. Yes. I don't know if you guys understand how powerful of an
Oh.
artifact that you guys just got. Yeah.
I have a
I
quick
think
question.
maybe Haldir should get the crown because he's missing his con. It's just a thought. But
Except for I
in
can do
that
a greater
last
restoration now.
Hmm.
How do you, by the way?
no, it's fine. I don't.
Can he?
I don't think so.
in that last fight, I had
Yeah,
my
they
strength
start-
reduced. Do I
I
get
just
that
start
back or
talking
no?
Dwarven.
Yeah, is our strength back, Tom?
You're sure? Yes. You're after you take that long rest, your strength mods. You're talking about from taking the hits from the ghost. Yes,
we
those are back.
level up and are exhausted.
And you're
That's an
exhausted. Yeah.
interesting combination.
Yeah.
Tired, and all these things floating around your
I
head.
feel really weak,
Yeah.
but I also feel more powerful.
It's just like it's more like you're just
I'm just
disjointed.
kidding.
Your memories are all jumbling together. Like you had experienced so much, so fast that once you started to slow down, your body is taking a little while to catch up as well. In any case, you guys are now rested for the most part, and you are in a dark room in presumably the throne room.
Ami Gumoth Skeef.
What?
What'd you just say?
Oh, I mean, I'm really. I
Snap
feel,
Cyril's neck.
I feel really tired.
What did you say?
I just said I feel really tired in Scottish Gaelic.
Oh.
Nice.
I thought you had a stroke.
Well, that is what Scottish Gaelic sounds like.
So even after the elevator door opens, the throne room is completely dark. Is that what you're saying?
It is, yes.
Do I see anything?
I mean, we chose to keep the door closed.
Well, so after you open up the door to the elevator into the throne room, you guys are kind of like coming off the left side of the room as you enter in. Or are you taking a look in? You're peering in, and Haldir, you can see, with the addition of whatever light source that I'm sure you guys are now utilizing, since it is really dark. You can see an empty room, in the sense that there are no creatures there. But there is kind of like an auditorium setup. There's like benched seatings in two sets, basically, on either side of this wall, or either side of this room. And then you also do see a third set of benches behind a raised dais where there is also a throne. And all of that is in the back of the room. And towards the front of the room, you see three sets of pillars, two to each side, and then you see a doorway that does appear to be shut completely.
And are there like torches on the wall that could be lit, or?
Yep, there are sconces or places for torches to be set, but it is dark and cold in here.
Can I approach one of those sconce things?
Sure.
And I don't know if this is, but I deal with a lot of fire, right? I'm wondering, like, is there a way I could try and determine, like, has this been used, like, even remotely recently or something like that?
Yeah. Make a survival check. And Kiro, make a perception check.
14.
So Haldir, you do not notice.
But actually, it's probably a 2 or a 4 because we're exhausted. So.
Oh yes, you are exhausted. That's right.
Sorry.
So you don't notice any burn marks, like carbon accumulating on the sides of it, or anything of that nature. The sconces seem to be particularly old and brittle, so it probably was a long time ago. But like as to discerning when or anything like that is a little bit beyond you. Kirill, you can see there's still magic to a lesser extent that's kind of just running through the walls here. And you notice some of the lines that indicate the ability to activate light. And so if you so choose, you could do so.
What do you guys think? Activate light?
You
know what?
How do you do it?
Let's activate light.
Yeah. So where those sconces are, they're bursts light source. It does look like flame, but Haldir, you're right next to it. It's not giving off any heat. Looks like this is not the way that these sources of light were utilized in the past. Just tell this the torch basically that is in that sconce.
You're kind of
has
cutting
been
out.
burnt.
Sorry.
You
said
basically
that
can tell. Yeah, the magic that Kirill just utilized to light up the room, not what they've been light this room, at least in the recent history.
Okay. And does anything else happen, or just the room
No,
just
yeah,
lights
the
up?
room just lights up. That's it.
Maybe you should go sit on the throne.
It's a little pretentious, but
You're already wearing the crown.
can I see it?
Yeah, you can see the throne. There's
This
actually, yeah. Go ahead.
This place is dead empty.
It's dead empty. It's actually not a particularly large room. You could say that if it was completely filled, the entire creation would probably number in the 70s, 80s, that kind of ballpark, just a little shy of 100, seated in the benches, essentially.
All right, let me sit in this really small chair.
Yeah, it does fit your butt, but it's like the back of the chair is like just a little bit lower than where your head rests, so it's a little bit odd. But you know, you're sitting in a cold, stony throne. Nothing happens.
And I just call out, "Is anyone there in Dwarvish?"
No reply.
All right, you guys want to go back to the elevator?
Well, there was a door out of this room, right?
There was.
Maybe we should go check it out.
Sure.
Because I
I
mean,
would try to find any kind of like paperwork or anything that would have just given like an itinerary or a calendar or something.
Sure.
I was just thinking that, if all the doors are freshly wiped out on like floor 0, we could try like floor -1. Like that's the first place they would run.
It's also very
that's
feasible. Misha, why don't you go ahead and make a perception check?
And I'm gonna guidance myself because I know I'm really shitty feeling right now.
By the way, we're character level 9?
10.
10, okay.
Yeah, but total 10, but yeah. Did that not work? Let me try hitting it again.
No, it worked.
You need your guidance didn't
You need
work.
your D4
Oh, I need
though.
to roll my thing down. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
There isn't anything of particular note that's still in this room, but you can kind of tell that there are like some scraps of paper that's lingering around, and it's like it's nothing important, you can tell, but it does appear that this place was like cleaned, and stuff was moved, maybe potentially quickly. Like you can see just like sometimes where the dust is kind of settled, or soot, perhaps in some cases. There's like darker marks that go around what could be like boxes, or it's tough to tell what previously was there. But at some point, there was more in this room, and it appears to have been moved out. What would you guys like to do?
Oh, I guess we had to walk over to this big exit door.
Okay, so the throne room door.
Yes.
Okay. You open it up. There's a question.
Everyone behind me.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Pushing
pop
him,
this
pushing
sucker
his
open.
butt.
Sure.
I'll be a little further behind them.
Sure. So you kind of push it open, and as you do so, you can sense, Misha, almost immediately. You can, you get the scent of death in the air, and
Ooh, I want to, of course, look around with my skull eyes for 60 feet if I can.
sure, yeah. In 60 feet in all directions, there's no undead. But as you guys kind of push into this large circular chamber,
grab Tannen's arm and be like, "It smells like home."
Jeez, what is that?
That doesn't sound like a good. It smells like home, but she's telling you it smells like home.
it's like almost like a cremated, fleshy scent too.
For her, I
at some
just think
points,
that
yeah.
means she feels really comfortable around dead people, not that it actually smells like home.
Well, that is her
She
home.
will look with her eyes like she's trying to tell you a different kind of message.
Interesting. I see.
I'll
pull out the old sword.
Sure. And so as you kind of move
I'm
forward,
ready to attack the first undead that I see.
I want to actually. Is your sword magical?
Yeah.
Sorry, this is sort of meta because I just figured something out. Is Yane's weapon magical?
I think it's +2.
It's +2.
And Kirill's weapon is magical.
everybody's got a magic weapon.
Kirill has
Yes.
the magic
Yes,
lance.
I have a
and he
magic
has
lance.
I don't know. By the way, did that other storm sword come out of the illusion with us?
No,
I
The
didn't
Storm
think so.
Sword.
The
It
one
didn't-
you
it
were
didn't come
holding,
out.
Supposedly, maybe you didn't even put on your character sheet.
Misha, I'm
did-
gonna hand
Found
you
the
your light
longsword
crossbow
version
back.
of my weapon.
yeah.
I don't know. I didn't-
It was not present after you had left that exact illusion.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. In any case, it doesn't take long, but in the far corner of the room, it's not really any corners because it's a circle, but on the far end of the room, there's a corpse, probably about 60 feet off from you right now. Misha, you scan it over with Eyes of the Grave. There's no undead.
You said there's no life in it?
There's no light. There's no unlife in it.
Oh, good. I'm going to go get comfy with the corpse and see if I can figure out how old it is or how long it's been dead.
Jeez.
Get
The
comfy with
terms
the
you're
corpse. Go ahead and make a medicine check with disadvantage because you have the problems,
Yeah,
exhaustion problems.
considering myself caffeined and I didn't think
Yeah.
Caffeined out of her mind.
Okay.
18.
Yeah. So it is a dwarf. The corpse is presumably less than a week old. And it has quite a few wounds on it. But notably, the deadly wounds that are running across it appear to be puncture wounds that are pretty deep. And some of them go entirely through the body. And they're also cauterized, like where they have poked through. You see other burn marks that are present on the body in addition to those. And you also notice that its right hand, about halfway up the forearm, is completely cleaved off and burnt away. But it also looks like it's kind of healed to some extent. And this wound appears to have occurred much prior to this particular dwarf's death.
I'll point all that out and ask Haldir if he knows any reason to remove any curse or something that would cause people to want to remove an arm post-mortem.
Wait, I thought he said the arm was removed well before the death. Yeah.
Well
I think
before
it
the
was-
death, yeah.
Oh,
Before.
well, before the death. Oh, I thought it was removed well after the death. Okay.
No. After.
Great
Well, much before. It looks like it's healed over. Where that wound was inflicted, it's healed over to a certain extent. Like it's even received probably magical healing. But they are still very much dead. And
Fellow look like?
I mean, he's probably a middle-aged dwarf, so it's probably in his 150 years, that ballpark. Kind of actually more of like a younger guy. And his beard, kind of a darker, near blackish brown. Pretty full. He's got nice big bushy eyebrows, hair tucked in, tied into a braid. He looks pretty mad. His expression, as it's kind of rotting away. He's not wearing particularly fine armor. It looks like it's mostly scrapped together bits. He doesn't appear to have a weapon on him. That's it.
Okay.
How fresh is this corpse?
Misha thinks it's about a week.
Oh boy.
Misha's also very confident in her assessment of this corpse.
Hey, you handle funerals. I trust it.
I stab it.
It does not respond. Your blade pierces into its body relatively easily. A bit of sickly smell kind of
Could never
permeates in
use.
the area. It's very dead.
Now I know we had inspected the room and stuff, and it seemed like nobody had been there in a long ass time. Can we kind of check out this area? This whole, I mean, we're in a hallway, right? This isn't
You're in another almost like a
Corridor.
crossroads, where there's 6 passageways that run around this circular room, and then there's also the doorway into the throne room. So there's quite a few directions that you can go. Just call them north.
And this guy's
northeast,
body
west,
is in
sort of thing.
in one of those pathways or in that crossroads?
It was close towards the northeast passageway, which was the opposite end of where you guys come from. He came from the west side. Looks like he was almost like part of his body slumped down that corridor.
Which way is his head pointing?
Away from you guys, down the corridor.
Okay, so ostensibly he came out of one of these areas and was heading down this one when he died.
Seems reasonable.
Are you trying to determine if he was running away from something or if he was cornered?
Well, I just, I mean, if you just died recently and we just came from this throne room, I guess we haven't gone very far in this room, right?
No.
Is the door open from our side or is it only open from the other side?
These corridors, the hallways, do not appear to have doorways. I mean, there are archways.
No. The door into the throne room.
Is it open or closed?
Could you open it from the side, from the outside? Not
Yes,
from the
you could open it from the outside if you wanted to. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, I don't know, it seems weird that nobody's been in the throne room, but this guy's right here, or at least we think no one's been in the throne room.
Well, somebody cleared out some stuff, but I was kind of mad. But Kirill, are you trained in religion?
Yes. Of course, it's an intellect check, so I don't do very well on them.
Really? Because his wounds are cauterized where he was stabbed through.
There's not a lot of blood anywhere
Um,
around the corpse either.
My
Trickles from his mouth, and
guess
stuff
would
like that.
be, although again, I don't.
Fireworms?
Maybe something abyssal. But I was gonna say if Kirill might have more, because Misha doesn't actually like character-wise, other than being a cleric, she doesn't have like she focused on dead people. You're the one who went on purging evil from things.
I can give it a religion check.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll guidance that if it matters.
Certainly can. There's nothing about the mannerisms of these wounds that seem to indicate they were like tortured. That being said, the guy is missing an arm that appears to have been cut off very cleanly, but it doesn't appear to be related to his death. So you're not exactly sure, but you don't think that whatever killed this thing did it like for the glee and joy of killing. It's certainly possible, but it seems pretty calculated and quickly done. Which, you know, if it were a demon or a fiend or something, it would probably have just, you know, slashed him up, ate him a little bit. You know, who knows? Unless they had orders to do otherwise.
Yeah.
You don't sense that stink of evil on this.
I see.
I think we should head in the way that his body's facing, because, like, I don't know, my thought is, like, maybe he was going to inform someone of something or something like that, and he was killed to, like, prevent that or something. I don't know. That's what I'm...
Yeah, I hear you. The trail's kind of cold, though. It's been a week. We can do it.
Yeah. So you continue down that pathway, and as you do so, you walk for about 70 feet, and then you can see that the tunnel that you're in kind of opens up, where you can see there's darkness fanning out on the left and right, and even above the doorway itself. And as you get closer and closer, you can see that there's these railings on either side of the pathway, and seems like you're entering into a larger chamber. Take any particular precaution or walking in?
I don't want to be the first one.
I'll go first.
Okay. Yeah, and you step up to the plate, walking through the archway. It's quite the squeeze for you. And as you kind of cross that threshold, you see to the left or right of you as you kind of hold your torch down and kind of cast light on things. Looks like a large like dining hall, but where ostensibly you would see fineries just based on the carvings and stuff like that kind of surround this area that are in the walls. It's completely bare except for the stone tables, the way that it's crafted. And you see like 4 rows to the north of you and 4 rows to the south, and you could probably house 200 dwarves in here pretty easily.
But it's clearly not been lived in for a while. Like, it's just bare. I mean, it's just completely bare.
It's completely threadbare to a very large extent. But you do see there are a few corpses in this room as well. And one is directly across the hall. So you're kind of like on this this walkway that cuts between it, and halfway through the walkway, there's a staircase that leads down to either side, and then just kind of like looking over the edge of this walkway, you can see there's another like hole underneath you that connects the two as well, so you can walk from either side, or you can take the stairs down from the top.
Am I just seeing this from the one step through the archway? Like,
Yeah,
or
I
is
mean,
this,
I'm
I
sure
don't know
everybody's
if
kind of
I've
like
walked
yeah.
forward and
You're just kind of peeking through, yeah.
right.
And
Are they all
you can see
behind
this
me
pretty well.
or?
Yeah, it's the it's the classic Scooby Doo where their heads are underneath you. Yeah.
Okay.
Are these also looking about the same age, like 1 week?
Tough to tell from this distance. Some of them are about 40, 50. Then like some of the darker shapes are even 120 feet off. The one that's closest to you, directly across the hall, or the walkway, is face down. But you can tell from even here, there's familiar-looking puncture wounds.
Is there also no undeath? Is he in 60 feet?
Yeah, no undead in 60 feet of you.
All right, so I'm going to touch Tammy's sword and tell him again, it smells like home. And I'm going to cast a spell on his sword.
What the fuck?
Okay.
For all intents and purposes right now, it just makes his weapon glow for bright light and 30 foot.
30 feet, right? Now I can see.
All right.
I'll put the spells card in a second.
Yeah, sure. And so yeah, that's what you guys see so far. Holy weapon.
Interesting.
Wow. 2d8.
Let's see. These corpses were incinerated?
They were not incinerated. The killing blows from puncture wounds that are
That's right.
maybe an inch to 2 inches wide or in diameter that are burned. So
Interesting. As in slashes across their bodies? Or like actual...
stabs.
Yeah, I know you said the word stab, but when you say
Yeah.
in diameter, I mean... That's a thick
The
ass
hole.
blade.
Yes. Yeah. Big hole blasted in their body.
There you go. Big needle.
Yeah.
nail.
Big claw, right?
Potentially.
That's what I'm thinking.
Claws might have done more slashing. We're very much describing it. Sounds like big puncture marks.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Big
And you can
flame
also
sword.
see there are like burn marks across some of the stone in like lines, like 10-foot long lines, where you can see that even the stone has been scarred by the intense heat that crossed along it.
Or are we talking about like fire salamanders or something being down here? Not a thing we talked about at some point or heard
if
about?
it is, then I totally zoned on that.
I-
That was
just like a
before we
long
went into
time
the
ago.
tower then, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Not a
There's
thing
definitely
that
some
we
talk
talked
of
about.
some fire salamanders. That's correct.
Yeah, okay. Oh. We should keep pushing forward and maybe hope to find something that's alive, or I don't know.
Sure. So you continue across the archway and down the corridor that you're currently walking in. Eventually, you run into another large circular room, but at the center of this room, there is a hexagonal staircase that kind of starts to climb. It spirals upward.
Spiral staircase. I'll be at least toward the front, if not leading the pack, since I have this big fat holy blade with a ton of light around it.
Sure.
you're casting the light. And it's at this point, as you're kind of leading the way, Tam, and as the staircase kind of curves ahead of you, you catch the glint of orange red above you, and like go above you on the staircase, and you it kind of
The
takes you
glint
back.
of
It
red
gives
is
you a
in,
little
like,
positive. Yeah,
I'm seeing movement of that color up there.
not movement, but as your light catches something other than gray stonework, gray and black stonework, it's just kind of off-putting.
Okay.
As you're peering intently ahead of you, but yeah, you see some red and orange up above you on the staircase.
Red and orange on the staircase up above me. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like a little tiny bit of it around the corner.
Is it shining any of its own light at all, even if it's like super dim, or can I not tell?
It doesn't appear to be. Now, as you kind of like put the weapon behind your back, it doesn't cast off any light.
Interesting. Can I kind of want to like sheath the blade like the tiniest bit, or like expose only the tiniest bit to give me only like the tiniest amount of light, if you know what I mean.
Sure, a sliver of light, yeah.
Yeah, just so I can sort of see where I'm going and kind of sneak up there, like stealth, if you will, and see if I can see something up there around the corner.
Yeah. So you move up a ways a little bit just to give yourself a little bit of light. Why don't you make a perception check?
Sure.
And a
Which I
stealth
have
check if you'd like
disadvantage
to as well.
Both of these checks, apparently.
Yes.
19
Okay.
and an 11.
Sure. So as you start to crawl up these stairs and you give the signal for the rest of your party to wait, you get closer to the source of this color, and as you do, it doesn't take you too much to notice that it's not a very large object that you're coming across, and it's not a creature or anything. So you kind of put away your fears for a moment, and you can see that there are basically like a number of scales, like 6, maybe inch-long scales, with about half an inch wide, and they're kind of like longer. And they have this almost tapering from red to orange color, and you can see the splash of this black blood that is also where these scales reside.
Interesting. I will relay the information to the party, and unsheath the blade completely. And then I'll walk into the room.
Okay. Yeah, well, you're actually not at the top of the staircase yet. It continues to ascend. Yeah. Until you get to a platform that, again, extends off into numerous corridors, in addition to continuance upward.
Okay, interesting.
It's kind of like a landing platform.
Is it like a wide, like, is it like a place we could all stand on and...
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yep.
Well,
I'll follow him up there, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sure.
The staircase only goes up.
I mean, this only goes one direction, right, Tom? It's not like...
Yep.
Okay.
Goes up. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we'll keep going up until like.
And the path continues. We could continue on like the path out of this room as well, right?
Yes, there are new paths outside of this room as well.
Yeah. Okay.
But you guys are continuing upward.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it like sort of case where we can't even tell how far the staircase goes? Like it's so long, or what?
You kind of cast your light up against the wall, and you can see a bit of it reflect against it and hit the staircase up above you. You can see that there's another landing, not tremendously farther up, maybe equidistant to the flight that you just ascended. And yeah, there's another landing above you.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should go up. I mean, unless someone else has any other ideas. We're basically just wandering aimlessly.
That's certainly not a bad idea. I mean, I don't really know if we have any other business that we know of that we want to do in here, so I figure we just go up.
Sure. To continue ascent. And as you get to the top of this flight of stairs, you can see that the stairs no longer continue upward from where you're at right now, and the corridors, 5 of them that lead off from this landing are blockaded with just garbage. Looks like loose stones, old furniture that appears to be mostly rotted. It's completely blockaded though, and on 5 sides.
Okay.
We go forward to the non.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't want to be tearing furniture down. We'll go through the open one.
Sure.
Well, sorry, it's blockaded. Can we tell which direction it's in, though? If that makes sense, like based on like the way that the shit's built up, like was it built from to keep people from getting in this room, or to keep people from getting out of it, or like to getting into the hallway? You know what I mean?
Into those halls. It was to protect people who are on the other side of the barricades.
Maybe you should go through one.
Oh, wait a minute. So I read that backwards. I thought the barricades were to keep everybody in the one hallway away from whatever's in the other 5. So it's reverse?
Built up that they were built.
Is Discord fucking up?
Oh no.
It's him and Misha.
It's
I
bad.
can't understand.
Okay, it's just us, yeah.
It's
Damn, I mean.
my voice is
I think
taking...
that it was 5 or 6 hallways. 5 of them were barricaded by furniture.
Yes.
We weren't open. We were just
Were you just bragging about how good your internet was?
Fucking football's on.
Oh,
That's
I was bragging about it.
It's been a little scuffed today, but I couldn't understand anything you said for like the last minute.
Yeah, same.
Corridors blocking.
Corridors blocking is what we just heard.
Corridors away. It can't pass through any of them. This is unbelievable.
Oh my god. Give me a headache trying to perceive what you're saying.
You're saying you can't see through any of them? Maybe. Maybe you said that. Unlucky, boys. Unlucky.
What's going on? Going to the strife quick.
Okay, we can try that one real quick. Go to the other Discord server that I made. We'll try that one.
Okay.
We can't even...
Bloop, 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 bloop. Misha's not even... Oh, no, you're just fucked, Tom.
Sound the same? It's just as bad?
No.
You sound fine.
Now I sound fine?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's better. Yeah, it looks like it's not going crazy now. So there's that. Seems like it's working.
Clear.
Anyways, so the corridor that is open or that remains open, it does actually appear like there is some like junk that's not blocking the way, but it looks like it would be like difficult to walk over, like rubble
Block
and
the path
whatnot.
slightly.
Sure.
Obstruct
Yeah.
the path slightly.
Yep. But yeah, the other
Okay.
pathways are blocked from the other side. Like they are built to keep whatever is coming from where you're coming from in.
I see.
Oh, great. So we're going to the belly of the beast.
And it possibly, or more likely, rather, since that one is open and there's furniture strewn throughout the path, that was blocked as well, and something broke through it. Well, I think there's only one direction anyway. Or we can move furniture and guess on the other paths, but I think whatever was being blocked is directly in the path ahead of us. What do you guys think we should do? I mean, because we could also... I mean, we could go back if we really wanted to, but, I mean, we've come this far already.
There is one path forward that is not blocked, and if we are on the side of danger, it just depends on what you want to do. Do you want to fight?
No.
I think we're in the worst area if you don't want to fight.
Yep, that's why I want to get out of here. Which way's out, Misha?
Probably, well, there were dead bodies down. Does it stink up here, Tom?
Yeah, it stinks like death pretty much over this entire place.
Tell me about the corpse. Does it smell like corpses here? I really need to know.
Yeah. Corpse smell? Mm.
She's jonesing, man.
There's everywhere.
I'm just going to start walking forward into the corridor.
Okay.
Slowly
I'll walk behind him.
and quietly.
Sure. Make a stealth check.
Best I can. I mean, I am
I'll
flashing
stealth with him,
light all
too.
over the place right now, but you know. Sound is probably the more appropriate stealth method here. A 12.
Sure. Oh, that's Yane. So you rolled a 22.
A 28.
Or 28.
That's
Excuse me. So you, along with Yane, who is not clobbering some stones around you, as he walks through, at least to your ears, you guys move through the corridor, and eventually what you guys come out to is it's almost like a makeshift blockade platform was set up, and again you can see scorch marks where some type of flaming attack was launched and burned through stone. You can see that there are numerous expended bolts. Yeah, well, not through stone, but it definitely caused damage to the stone as well.
Oh, okay. It's not like it's like melting stone with the fire.
Yeah, no, it's not like it's like a straight line through the stone. No.
Okay. I was about to be like, we need to turn.
Yeah. There are again corpses of mostly younger, looks like both male and female dwarves that are scattered across, and they have similar wounds to the ones that you've seen prior to this. There's probably about 8 corpses in all here. Some of them are carrying weapons. You can see that they have short spears and some hand axes, along with crossbows with some heavy bolts in them, as well as bolts that are kind of slammed into the wall and shattered all around you where you're coming from. You do see the remnants of some of the scales that you have seen previously, Tammin, as one of the major sources of color in this room, aside from some dark brown stains everywhere from blood. These corpses, again, maybe a little bit fresher than a week. As you guys are
Point out the scales.
continuing up.
I'll point out the freshness. Is anybody in our group good with nature checks?
Yeah, did anyone waste the point on nature checks? I'm just
Tao
kidding.
was.
Was anybody potentially able to like evaluate these scales? And I mean, are we talking dragon scale? Or are we talking like tiny little lizard? Like
They're small.
Underground, I don't know.
He described them as like 1 inch by a half inch, like sized small orange scales.
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Yanni.
question.
Yang.
who's the int?
I mean, everything like that
What's
is
it,
out there.
Yang?
You don't
He has
have
the
an
most
int.
arcane knowledge of all of us.
Doesn't have.
Well, I don't know.
Literally.
Maybe you know more about weird
Oh.
creatures than we would. I certainly wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I went for it.
This, what does Yang know?
Yeah, what do I know?
What do you think? What do you think? I mean, there's punctured bodies with these cauterized wounds. It appears these dwarves
Some
are getting
type of-
murdered.
This like an hour and a half
Detective
ago.
work, Yang.
It's-
Good detective work. They are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are dead.
They're probably getting attacked by salamanders, and they get clawed up, and then they like breathe fire on them, and it cauterizes the
Whoa,
wound.
whoa, whoa!
And
Did you roll the nature check?
you know,
Not only that. So Misha, as you guys are kind of inspecting the corpses and stuff like that, one thing that comes to mind is that, oh yeah, you guys have magical armor that you never identified and a bow that you never identified. Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't even know
But
that.
then, but then also, there are among some of these corpses, the dwarven corpses, there is a similar wound to the hand that you saw. So one has its hand chopped off, or a little bit ways up the forearm, and then another one has like a peg leg type of deal going on.
So I want, as Misha, I want to pick up like the peg arm and the peg leg and wave them at Haldir and be like, "Does this look like salamanders to you?"
oh, you gotta. They get hungry.
Does it look like they've been bitten off?
No, it looks like it's a pretty clean cut.
It's more blood for the blood god. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Misha's just gonna shake her head no and just drop the stumps.
When did we get armor and a bow we didn't identify?
The bow is from the archer that attacked you with the disfigured attack, and the armor is the
At the docks.
at the
Lord.
docks.
Wait,
yeah,
when did that happen?
yeah. The disfigured,
I know the one you're talking about.
the one that was casting illusions had magical leather armor as well.
Interesting. Yeah, we never identified that shit because we haven't been back to like any civilization since then, really.
Yeah, and you've been running into cursed
We
items
literally
recently.
got rescued on like some
Wait.
crazy rock, and then went to a flying castle. and then
You're a
went over
ritual caster though, right?
here. No, I'm not. Ritual caster is a different feat than.
That's a different.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm magic initiate.
Is there? If I were to, can I make like an Arcana check or something? It's like, I'm wondering, is there like some form of necromancy or something that like stay? I mean, I don't know. Like, it seems really weird that all this shit is dead in like the last like 3 fucking days. Like, is that actually what's going on here, or is there like some sort of
Yeah, like some sort of stalling or like a gentle repose type thing going on.
yeah?
Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
$11.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty natural, and so far as you can tell, that I mean, it's not held back by any magical effects. It's just these are recent battles, recent wounds that have happened. Keep in mind, you are on the now 22nd, -22 floor. So you're pretty far down, but you're like halfway up this thing, the pine cone of the ash hold. So It is what it is. Beyond this barricade, where defenders appear to be overrun, there are again numerous pathways, but two of them are blocked off, and the one that is still open to you is again riddled with bodies. This time, you do notice in the distance a larger body that's casting off this gold and red light, and you actually do see the body of presumably whenever these creatures are attacking. It's about 15 foot long, has no legs but two arms. It's a humanoid-esque face with some lizard traits. It has a frill down its back and some types of whiskers. And in its hands is a particularly deadly-looking spear that has a crimson red line that goes from the base to the tip of it, and it's like hollowed out almost as well. It has in it about 20 crossbow bolts sticking out, and in the path ahead, you can see what appears to be another salamander body. They are flame salamanders.
And to be clear, they're not alive.
They are very dead.
So they have like, I mean,
We'll walk up to inspect them more closely.
Mm-hmm.
they look like the MC fucking fire salamander boys, basically.
Yeah, kind of like they do look similar to a naga. Their body is a little bit more lithe. They don't have like that upper chest type of deal going on, but they do presumably kind of fold up on themselves as they walk. They do have at least the hintings of a torso that go along with their arms. The one that's ahead of you, you can see that their spear is actually even closer to a trident. It forks off, basically like a large fork. But you can still see this like bright red ichor, or like energy just kind of flowing through their weapon. And on a very close inspection, as you get closer to both the previous salamander's weapon and this one's, there's at the tips of these spears a like a blackish metal cap, essentially, that resides on the tops of these spears, and it's made of a different metal than the rest of the spear. That's the only reason why it's like really particularly noticeable. It's almost familiar to a certain extent. Just that the tips of these weapons.
So made of the same black material on the crown, and specifically, I mean the crown, the Garant crown, the black one. The one that was left.
Could be like that, yeah. But you never saw the crown in its black state, so.
Okay, sorry, I thought it always looked like that. Never mind.
Yours was coated in gold.
I mean, I don't know. Just like substance that's flowing through it, like completely foreign to me, like.
Yeah, make an Arcana check. Again.
14.
So there is a residual heat that is coming off of that substance, and you would imagine that through some means, utilizing this weapon, they can expend that substance to eject flame or
whatever it is, like a jelly fire, and kill people with it. It's a weapon.
Yeah.
Jelly.
Yeah, I mean
Does it look
it's kind of like
slimy? These boys
viscous.
look slimy.
No, they don't look slimy.
Secretion.
The no, their flesh doesn't give off anything. I mean, their bodies actually by themselves, as you're getting closer to these things, they've been dead for a while. You presume they're still giving off a bit of heat, and even more so that weapon is. It is very warm to the touch.
They probably look like they're about as dead as the other ones, right? Yeah, the dwarves
Yes.
you've been finding,
Yes,
right? I mean,
correct.
there's not a discrepancy there.
No.
Okay. Oh, I don't fucking know.
You can see also.
But they don't have the holes in their body, right?
Say it again.
They don't have those holes in their body, right?
Yes, they have holes from bolts, from crossbow bolts, but not there. You can surmise that these weapons that they're carrying right now are what has been killing those dwarves for sure.
Okay.
And then also, you do see kind of like on a harness that one of the front one was wearing, the one that was further away. It's like a metal cage. It looks like it's a type of armor, but on the back of it are these lines of chain that end in shackles.
Oh.
Which are empty?
Yes.
When's the last time we saw one of those dead dwarfs? Was it like just recently, like, just far back? Or
Yeah. There's dead dwarves in this hallway.
did we? That's a hard time remembering. Did we already try and talk to one of the dead dwarfs at like the first on like floor 0?
Yes. So on floor 0, you guys, I think you asked questions from one of the dead. Is that correct, Misha? Do you recall doing that?
I was gonna say no, but now that you mentioned it, I'm like, I think we did. I think we.
Yeah, but mostly what your guys' questions were, or what they pertain to, was like what came through the doorway, how did you die, that sort of thing, and that was indicating a dragon or a large creature.
That was before we encountered the Bahir, for the record.
Oh, that was before you encountered the Bahir?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, then that would have been a different situation.
Yeah, it was. I don't think we've
Wait,
used Speak with Dead since that point. Or whatever the hell that spell's called.
Sure.
Oh, you think that was when we were trying to find the entrance to this place?
Yeah, well, I know it was because I remember that conversation specifically. We asked, what color the like he said it was
The
a dragon.
thing
we
that
asked
killed
what
him
color
was?
it
Yeah.
was, and it was like
I said blue.
cobalt
Yeah.
or blue or something.
Oh yeah.
I do recall that.
I want to talk to a dwarf.
I
We can
don't
cut off a head and take it with us, but I
I
can't
just
do
don't think
that
we had another conversation
tomorrow.
using that spell.
Oh yeah, that's right. Why don't you just commune with dead? That's kind of your thing.
Yeah, I have to really
Roll that.
meditate on that. It's a process. It's a meta. I need to actually long rest and change my spells out. So if you guys want to wait till tomorrow and you want to take a head with us, sure.
I don't think we're doing that.
I think there'll be plenty more where that came from.
Probably just find another one.
And we have
Given
to
what
use
we've
that
seen
guy,
so
dude.
far. Well,
I
think
don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm not saying we should just sit here and wait. I'm just saying we should, we'll just keep that
Get
in
him on the
mind.
next one, bro.
Yeah. I think, we're finding new things, so we should continue heading down this path. Maybe
Yeah.
it'll.
I think so too. I think we're obviously on the right path. Maybe that's a stupid assumption since we're heading into danger, but
Sure.
it's certainly going somewhere.
You can go down this pathway.
And as another widening, you once again are met with barricades. This time, there are no corpses from either faction present here, and the barricades don't appear to be like overrun either. It's just they're empty. There's nobody manning it by any sense of the word. It's like a 6-foot barrier that you can kind of all hop over, not tremendously easily since it's very cobbled together and awkward, but you guys can crawl over it fairly easy if you'd like to.
Yeah, I mean, I'll crawl the barrier.
Even I can fit through.
Yeah. You're crawling over it.
Oh, okay. Over.
Gotcha.
Okay. So who's the first one that's going over this?
I can go first. Usually I go first.
I'll
So you
light the
ain't-
way.
You kind of step up to the barricade, and your head's peeking over the top of it.
Mhm.
You can see over to the other side, and looks like there's some crossbows that are pointed at the top of this barricade, and there's a thin line of wire about eye level to you as Tammin brings his light up to you.
I'm gonna stop everybody, or at least myself, and see if I can kind of figure out where that wire is going, and if possible to, break it without getting fucked up.
Yeah, it's kind of a
I
little.
love how you just told me that.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty apparent as you just walked up to it.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe somebody who had to climb over the top of it and put their hand on
Can't put
top.
the light there, dude.
But you just walked up to it and you could just see. You're just like, oh, guys, I can see this.
Mhm.
If someone were to reach up on a high cabinet and then a tall person just walk up and they could see what's going on, there's no roll necessary.
So if anybody else did it, they would have got.
They would, yep. But there he is. Benefits of being tall.
That's very true in life.
And so, you can see that there's a trap. It's
Mhm.
fairly simple in design, and when you knowing where it is and having a decent amount of experience with these types of things, you can kind of figure out a feasible way to disarm it. Why don't you
actually disarm it? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So why don't you make a dexterity check, a sleight of hand check, rather.
Oh no.
I mean, I actually
With
do have.
disadvantage on ability checks.
Um.
Skill check, whatever.
Wow.
18, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had +8 on sleight of hand.
Yeah. That's one of the ones I took.
Very, very
It's
lucky.
the first time you ever used it.
Yeah.
It is.
I have a 13
What
sleight
is
of hand.
anybody's sleight of hand?
He's like a
He's
fucking
he's
ninja warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still like the.
It was one of the things I was trained on.
Yeah.
He's a light-handed big dude.
I also am stealthy too.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know how that
yeah.
works.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, he's just.
So you're able to disarm the trap without setting off any of the crossbows, and you actually see as you're kind of pulling the wire, there's almost like a slight jingle, and you can see that there's some type of sound effect that also goes along with the bolts going off. But you're able to handily take care of it as you kind of step up over the barrier and get a better view onto the other side. You can see that there's 10 heavy crossbows that are loaded and set up in such a way that they volley when somebody would cross over. You're able to bypass the bolts.
Okay. I'm gonna just stick my head a little bit just to see if it's all good. And then I'm
Okay,
gonna
get
climb
perception check.
across. Yeah, I'll do that. Mm-mm-mm.
Bet there are dwarves who are alive if the trap was not triggered.
Nice.
Seems to be an all clear. There is a pathway ahead, and you can even catch the faint glint of light.
All right. I'm just gonna tell everybody that it's it's safe to come forward. They choose to do so.
Everybody follows him over, I imagine.
Yeah.
Onward.
Sure. Okay. And so as you guys kind of cross over and start to scurry yourselves down another pathway, like Yane saw, the rest of you guys begin to see a faint bit of glowing red-orange light coming from down the hall. There's kind of a slight curve to this particular tunnel, so you can't see exactly what is casting the light.
But the light's slowly getting brighter, so we know it's coming our way.
It is not getting brighter. You are getting closer to it, which is making it brighter.
I see. Sorry, I misinterpreted.
Yeah.
All right. How far? Well, it's just slightly turning the whole way, or is it like goes forward and then turns slightly?
It's slightly turning the whole way. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
Gotcha.
a smooth. Yeah.
I'll do the whole sheath the sword
Mhm.
until I can only help myself see a little bit in front of me thing, and walk forward until I
Sure.
can see the source of the light, at least what I think can be source of light, while being
Okay.
as stealthy as possible.
Yeah. While you're doing that, why don't you make a perception check to see what you can see?
13.
And I assume you guys are you letting Tammin kind of scout ahead? Or are you on his heels? What's the plan there? If you are on his heels, you got to roll stealth.
I'm not rolling. I'm letting him do his stuff.
Sure. And also, Tammin, you should roll stealth if you're trying to be quiet.
2 13s. Yikes.
13s. Okay. So you are moving slowly down the pathway, and as you do, in your quiet steps, with your heart beating a little bit quicker, you catch this almost like the tail end of a song being hummed down the pathway. But then it like stops abruptly.
Okay. And in this hallway, is it like there's no like corridors on the side that you can sort of step into, or is it like completely like I don't want to
This one is yeah.
Curved, but
This one
no,
does
like,
curve, but there's
outlets.
no outlets or anything like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'm expecting him to come around the corner, and I think I'm just gonna crouch here and ready my weapon. But it's obviously...
Okay.
Well, I guess I can't do that because it's got light. I'm keeping it sheathed for
Right. Getting ready to draw. Sure. Yeah. Okay, so you pause.
And listen. To see
and
if
listen.
I hear anything moving forward.
Okay, you can make another perception check if you'd like.
25.
Wow. There is... there's no more humming. There is a faint bit of whispering. You can't make out what they're saying. But it doesn't appear to be getting closer.
Okay. I will... Who's behind me? Is it...
Don't think anybody's directly
no
behind
one's
you.
behind me?
Probably somebody's
Probably not.
50.
I should be the person behind you.
Yeah.
Closest.
But I think I walked up on my own.
Yeah. Yeah, he's scouted. He scouted ahead. So if you want to go up there, be close to him, and you gotta stealth up there.
I'll try to like make my way back a little bit and just regroup with them and tell them, hey,
Sure.
there's some whispering up ahead. There's definitely people or something up there. So you need to be careful. And then I'll motion them up with me, and I don't think we're gonna not go back at this point, so time to get rolling. Stealth back up there.
Okay. Go ahead and make another stealth check as you move forward. Is the rest of your party coming along with you?
I asked them
So
to. It depends what they
trepidatious about
want to do.
this.
I rolled an 11. for my stealth check.
Sure. So you're kind of inching forward past where you were the previous time, and you can tell just as you kind of like peek your head because you're kind of hugging one of the walls, and as you kind of peek your head around the corner, it kind of opens up into a straight path, and as you do so, a crossbow bolt.
A crossbow bolt, huh? Okay.
Wow.
Attack.
Connects with your
What?
face.
Oh no.
Across the side of your cheek, and ripping a portion of your ear for 7 points of damage.
Stand back to the 63. I just lost my whole level's worth of life. Pathetic.
Yeah. And you hear a voice call out, "They're down there! I saw one!" In Dwarvish, so if anybody knows how to speak it.
I do, actually. And I'll just say we're not... I'll speak in Dwarven that we are not the salamanders that were slain behind us.
Is that so?
We mean no
Oh,
harm.
aren't you step out, slaver? Let's see if you can take a few more bolts.
We're no slavers. We're trying to find our way out of this, what appears to be some kind of a labyrinth. We just want to pass.
A likely story. Why don't you make diplomacy? It's not a diplomacy.
I think
Persuasion.
it's,
Is it diplomacy? Oh, it's
persuasion.
the fuck persuasion. Yeah,
I think diplomacy and persuasion are the same, though. They're
they
just
are
different
now.
names.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Another bolt skips past you. This time just striking stone. You're not like around the corner yet, so.
No, I'm chilling, especially if this guy's shooting bolts at me. I mean, I'll just... Anyone else want to give this one a try? I don't seem to be getting through to them.
Friends, there's no need for this.
Oh,
You're just kind of calling down from the path.
I'll push Carol
Sure.
forward if he's near me.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Okay. So as you kind of
reveal yourself, right?
Misha does have a big giant tower shield to hide behind, by the way.
You know what? I'll
I know, but I'm not antagonizing the water. Do
We
we
just-
sound like salamanders to you?
He said we're slavers.
Oh yeah.
The salamanders are slavers. That's the shackles were for. We sound like salamanders.
you kind of hear some whispering, and one of them's like, "I know." But no reply comes, so far as you can tell. There's some shuffling, some movement, but
If we show ourselves, you
I'll
promise
approach
not
the
to
dwarves.
shoot us?
You'll
I
approach
mean, it should
them?
be pretty obvious with the scales and
Haldir
stuff.
said he's approaching the dwarves.
okay. So you step into the line of sight of these dwarves,
Brave Haldir.
and they unleash another 3 crossbow bolts.
I guess you.
Okay. Yeah, none of them hit, so they all bounce off of your shield. Holy shit! They're bringing in their A team.
Oh my god.
I'm coming forward, and I'm not gonna hit you unless you hit me too many times.
And Haldir's on no one's A team.
I'm not a salamander. I'm half elf. My name is
You're
Haldir.
talking through a cup.
Approaching very slowly.
You're a little quieter than normal, by the way, right now, if you didn't know that. Toe.
Is your mic over your head or something?
Oh, oops, sorry.
I was a little confused. Okay, make another persuasion check.
Since I'm
For you, it's the first time.
actively participating, I would guidance him on this one.
Sure.
So
I try to reserve it for
15
only when I'm
plus
involved with
1d4?
you guys doing something.
Who's rolling it, dude? Oh, dude, that's like the calling card of your fucking guidance this whole campaign. The natural one.
Oh, it's well, not. I got
16.
3, I think, out of it, or somebody did.
So what you kind of see in front of you is a another one of those hexagonal
Someone's breathing into my mic.
staircases. And you can see that at the base of that staircase, there is another small barricade. This one only probably 4 feet high. And there's 3 dwarves that are kind of hunkered behind it in pretty much full cover, shooting those crossbows over their little threshold of the wall. And what appears to be the older one of the 3, since they're only like 6 feet away, he's got a bald palate or plate, and he kind of perks his head up a little bit. Hey, why don't you just stay right there? Let's talk then.
Well, finally,
And,
we're getting through to something. I told you, I'm not a fucking salamander.
Oh, this is a strange place to run into visitors, considering the Ashhold's been deserted for some, 200 years besides us. So forgive us for being a bit tepid, one of the two. Who are you then, that you come into these halls?
Well, I told you, I'm Haldir Renosi. We came here. Well, it's kind of a long story, actually, but, we're basically trying to kill some mind flayers and free God, and kind of got wrapped up in this little area.
God.
The dragon. And we saw a dragon, and I think he killed a lot of your people, and
Yeah, that he did. This is kind of a shit situation. How did you get around the dragon?
Well, he ran to a tower, and there was some sun elf image.
Boy,
yeah,
you're talking nonsense now.
I was gonna say.
all right. Well,
it's gonna
I'll
be
let
like,
me
what?
just. So the dragon, well, he attacked us at first, and
you survived that thing?
well, survive is a loose word, I would say. He wasn't intending to kill us. It didn't seem. He kind of paralyzed us, and told us that he wanted to get a pearl from King Dolometh's crown. I assume you know who King Dolometh is. He's not like.
Yeah, I know who King Ptolemy was. Yes, courtesy of his majesty.
Well, it's been a long time, so I don't know. But anyway, we go into this little tower.
While there's explaining this, I'll just I'll be like, Kirill, show them the crown.
And we go into the tower, and we meet this I don't know what you'd call him. He's like not really alive, but kind of alive thing. And he has us do a bunch of tasks that are quite grueling, and we nearly died many times.
As you're kind of talking, you can see that he's looked up over his shoulder a couple of times up the staircase, like he's almost listening for something. But
And I got a couple friends back there, 4 to be exact. And so if you hear them, that's them.
He's looking in the other direction, up higher than him.
Oh, well. Okay.
What happened down here?
So you're just talking from behind the wall, or do you walk up?
Yeah, Kirill, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm walking forward.
Okay, do they see the crown?
I don't think they know what it is, because they didn't know what a tower was.
He kind of looks at you, and he's got like maybe a faint bit of recognition crosses his eyes, or something of that nature. And he kind of like looks at the other dwarves that are with him.
Insight check. Want to see if I think he recognized it, or if he has no
Sure.
fucking clue what it is. Fucking hell.
That one.
You. 12.
Yeah, one. Tough to tell what that meant. So you take it however you will.
That means I have no idea.
And you hear now the creaking of armor as numerous dwarves are coming down the stairs above. And the dwarf ahead says, boys, I think we've got something good, actually. You there, with the crown? Would you step
guys are
forward a bit
looters.
more?
These guys are looters.
Yeah, sure. What's up? And I'm gonna. I'll walk forward.
So, your elvish friend back there was saying you got that from the tower?
Yes,
You did it? You?
all of us.
He's got this incredulous look on his face.
All hail King Kirill.
Well, I don't know if he
You
really
should
has a
do it
claim,
around.
but
He's got the crown.
Listen, we're not going. We're not gonna say any of this stuff.
all right. Here's what we're gonna do. Set down your weapons. We'll escort you to the man in charge, and we'll discuss this a bit further. But I don't know you, and you guys are coming up from where the salamanders are. So, how about let's start this off with a bit of trust, eh?
Yeah, that seems fine.
So, if you
Sure.
disarm yourselves.
Well,
I would like to sleight of hand my.
You just shot at us and you want us to take our weapons off?
I mean, I guess he can't see me. I haven't come from around the corner.
It
No, not
doesn't
really.
matter
I
if I
still
don't
want
have
to
a
try to
weapon. I
hide
can
my
still
weapon
eat these
on
people.
my body.
Okay. Yeah, you certainly can.
I'll drop mine and walk forward
Unbelievable.
as a distraction.
Nat 1 with a plus 13.
So as you okay, well, I mean, yeah, if he's helping you, then it is 14. So there's still a fail. But it's not a critical fail. It's just a 14.
I know.
So
It's still lame.
Well, I wanted
yeah,
to at least do it like where I would be like draw attention by dropping everything and walking
Sure.
forward, and he can do whatever the fuck he needs
Sure,
to do.
sure.
I would say that you definitely would have advantage, but due to the fact that you have disadvantage, it actually cancels
So
out.
it's
Yeah.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I still have 14 anyway.
14 isn't a bad roll.
Yeah,
In any case, you guys kind of step forward, and what are you doing with your weapons in particular, Kiro?
I'll slowly step forward behind Yane as well.
I'll
otherwise-
pull them aside.
Sure. Yane, what about yours?
I'm gonna toss it towards them, but just kind of on the ground, little underhand
Okay.
toss.
Little thunk.
So
Is
it's
it
near
skids?
them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Misha?
Misha is going to take her non-magical weapon, set it on the ground, and say, "If you think I need this."
Oh, what are you threatening them when they're
Basically,
trying to tell them we're good
Yeah.
people?
she sets down her regular, ordinary sword.
Yeah. She's still wearing a human skull as a helmet. So, and
Yeah,
then
I
and then
understand.
And it's actually not hidden right now. So
Haldir.
I'm gonna tell them, I understand what you're going for by having us take our weapons off, but to be quite frank,
6 more dwarves come down with heavy
The,
crossbows at this point.
to be quite frank,
Some of them have
we've been
short
walking
swords.
through here, and we've been finding a lot of dead dwarfs, And
Oh, thanks
I
for
would
the
say
observance. Appreciate it. Our dead
Well-
brothers and sisters. Very nice.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I just kind of am sometimes. Anyway, I don't quite trust that were we to run into some enemies, you guys would hold them off. I feel like I might need to do that. So I would like to keep my weapons. Because, given what we've seen, it
They'll be
hasn't
at
gone
hand.
so well.
The people who will take them will walk right behind you. You'll be
All right.
safe.
Oh, that's fine.
So please.
What business do you guys have down here in this?
Well,
freaking
just
place?
that we live here. That's probably the biggest business that we have down here.
I see.
What's your business here?
We're trying
Yes.
to get through the Hollow Peaks to.
It's getting quite shitty here. I don't know if you've noticed. There's a dragon up above us. killed a bunch of us, and then blocked the entry, the exit, and then there's the salamanders that are crawling
How
up
long
through
have
the
you been
bottom.
struggling down here, if I may?
Oh well, what do you boys say? About a month we've been fighting the salamanders, and then the dragon showed up like 2 weeks ago, something like that. It's all around. It's been quite shitty.
You're both. Do you think there's like a correlation between these two things?
Oh fuck if I know, but it's good to see somebody from the outside. I'll say that. He kind of walks
I
up.
don't know if it is. You're taking our weapons. You don't seem very.
I mean, it's fine.
to see
It's
us.
fine, Tammin.
He crosses the barrier. And you can see he's kind of spry as he jumps over the barrier, but you do see almost immediately that he has another one of these peg legs that you've seen on a few of the dwarves in the past. So as he steps to you with a limp and extends his hand to the first person in line, which he actually steps up specifically to Kirill, and
I'll shake
gives
it.
a slight almost nod as he reaches you, like it's like a half, almost like a quarter bow, and he takes your hand, shakes it in a nice firm grip. Brimley's my name. I can't say I belong to a clan anymore, but welcome to my humble post, I suppose. Please, right with me, and you two, he points to some of his guys, grab their weapons. You two grab that one, and
Whenever I get up there, I will hand him my bow. And
Okay.
smile.
I greet him and say, "Nice to meet you. I'm Kirill."
it's a pleasure, Kirill. Can you tell me the rest of the names of your party members? I think that one said his name was Haldir.
The elf is Haldir. The guy with the long hair is Tammin. The shirtless man is Yane. And the skull-headed cleric is Misha.
Wonderful.
Bald-headed.
And you aren't looters or murderers, are you?
No,
We're not looters.
we're trying to get some passage. We kind of, showed up here. We expected
Depends who you ask, but I'm not gonna say that.
we kind of expected to get some trade, maybe rested in an inn for a little while, and found a lot of corpses and a dragon.
Yeah, again, things have not been going particularly well. But
Why is there undeath in some of your corpses?
I presume you're talking about what happened topside, which is the Shadow Dragon. I don't know how familiar you are with dragons, but when one's as corrupt and nasty as that, its breath brings about undeath. Pretty simple. In a very morbid and horrific sort of way. It's not particularly pleasant killing your cousin again.
So it has nothing then to do with why certain people are missing hands, or and she's gonna look down at his leg. Just
He
trail off.
stomps it twice. I know that's a little bit different. That is courtesy of yon bright scale slavers. That's the salamanders down there. They've been coming up and ripping us away for quite some time, especially when we were still mining. But a few of us escaped and then got caught. And when you get caught by the bright scale, they tend to leave you a bit less whole. So that's my punishment. We did get away the second time we escaped, though. Sans the leg. In any case, we've got a few stairs to climb, so
Yeah, let's go.
he gestures
away.
off.
Alright,
Don't you're
He's
like
breathing
We're
in.
doing wind knife right now.
you're like fucking huffing into your like microphone.
He's doing his
My
best.
mic
smile
is super
impression.
close to my face. I don't know.
like the whole time, or what?
No,
Just
no,
recently.
like the last 15 seconds.
Last 20 minutes.
Not
Sorry.
20 minutes. Come on.
It's all good.
I don't know what happened.
You just mouth breathing.
Anyways, so you guys continue up this flight of stairs. You're flanked by 6 dwarves, And then there's Brimley and 2 other dwarves who were holding crossbows, and they are all kind of casting some strange glances every once in a while back towards all of you, and specifically Kirill. You guys do kind of get that gist where they kind of linger on Kirill just a bit longer. And eventually you come to a more common hall area after you guys pass through probably 3 or more barricaded pathways. And you start to see people who do not look materialistically or militarily minded, rather. Where there are people who are mending clothes, and when I say people, I mean dwarves. For the most part, there are a few gnomes that are in residence, as well as a few humans. But for the most part, there are dwarves that are just kind of making their home here. And as you kind of step into this large common hall, similar to the one that you guys passed after just leaving that throne room, this one looks less adorned, but still grand in a certain sense. And it's well lit, and people are like, what is going on? These are the first visitors they've had in a while, and there's almost like a look of like hope that's crossing some of their faces as they see you. But you're kind of brought along until you get to what appears to be like the kitchens almost, and you can see and smell baked goods. It's kind of covering up the scent of what you've previously been smelling, that rank odor that's kind of permeated the halls. And there are like some dried meats and stuff, and you see people are getting not terrible food as they are standing in line. But Brimley kind of steps forward, looks through the kitchen a bit. Kierna! Is Kierna back there? Huh? Oh, there she is. Kierna, come here. So this is our quartermaster, and she's not a particularly nice lady, but she's kind of in charge. And this very scarred and disfigured dwarf woman steps up, and you can see that some of her hair has been like parts of her scalp has scarred over, so that her hair is not like perfectly formed on her scalp, and she looks like she's suffered a lot, but she still has kind of a reddish tinge to her hair where it's not going gray. She doesn't appear to have any dismemberment as she kind of steps up with a solid step and like a very keen eye on each of you as she does so. What the hell is this? Our saviors? Is that the crown of Dolometh on your head? Yeah. My God, it's the savior! Hey, that's wonderful! Wow, what the fuck are you doing here? Who are you?
Well, we were trying to get through the Hollow Peaks, and we got wrapped up in a bunch of bullshit in the tower with the dragon.
Oh, that's very convenient for us. So you wouldn't mind parting with that on your head, do you?
Well, I wouldn't, I just, if you wouldn't, mind giving me and my friends 10 minutes before we do.
Well, sure. Oh, I was mostly just kidding, but if you would be so kind as to give it to us, that would be great. But I'm very concerned. Is that really the crown of Dolometh? She's not. She kind of looks over to Brimley, and Brimley, that older dwarf, kind of like gives a slight nod, like that's it. And she's like, "Oh, that's just not
Why are you in
possible. Why are we in need of saving? I don't know if Brimley has kind of updated you on the situation, but let me just go through it real quick. Up above us, dragon, sitting on our exit, killing us. Below us, slavers, take us away, make us make weapons, all that sort of shit. If we don't, cut us up. That's kind of what's going on.
Hold on, are the slavers connected to the Jinn?
I don't know what Jinn you're talking about. There's salamanders. That's all we've seen.
Well, we were in, what was the name of the city? Jalrin? And the word on the street there was that, there was some kind of Jinn making weapons for the, some demon usurper who had, taken over the throne of Jalrin.
Well, shit, if that's the word on the street, they should probably send some boys to come take care of it, huh? I hope that's you.
That was a task we were suggested, yes. But the guy who gave us that task is, Demon King's son. We don't really trust him that much.
Well, this is irrelevant, I guess. Are you here to help us, or are you just kind of stomping through our home?
We'll help you.
Well, that's
We've definitely been
fucking
looking
dandy
for
to hear. Let's get him some bread and some beer. How about?
I
Milk
don't know
tea.
about handing over the crown necessarily, but we will help you.
Well, she ushers over some attendees, and they grab you guys some meals and get you sat down. Come on, Gawkers. We've got work to do. We'll handle this. She kind of sits down next to you, breaks off a big hunk, dips in some gravy. So, you're here to help, kind of. That's the way I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna say that you're here to help because that's kind of what we need. So, what exactly can you do? Apparently, a lot. You've got the crown, and if I'm not mistaken, Brimley, they had to go through some impossible challenges to some extent to get that. Is that kind of the case?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of bullshit from some really conniving elf.
I don't know exactly what that means. I mean, that was all made by Dolomith, right?
No one's walked in that tower and seen what happens.
Well, we're not really supposed to. It's really only supposed to be the heirs of the Ashblood line that are supposed to go into that particular place.
And
they
you don't
all-
have any of those anymore, or what?
Well, there was one guy, but he kind of stepped away, and well, wasn't really that big a deal considering every time any of them did go in there, they died. So they kind of steered away from doing that for a while. There's probably like 2 generations, 3 generations of Ashbloods, would you say, came through? I didn't ever had any intention of going in there. Because like I said, everybody who did just died. So, we don't know what happened to them. They disappeared. Presumably they're dead.
In your history, or which I assume you have a record of, or things like that.
We had records of them. Some of the stuff we kept, but a lot of it we've burned simply for fuel. And then we have our memories. That's about it, though. And there's only a few of us that are old enough to remember. Brimley here remembers quite a bit. But other than that, I can't say. I think there was Dunbar, something like that. Some other old guy. Is he even one of our... Did he die last week? 2 weeks ago? Oh, yeah. Got stabbed in the heart a couple times. That's terrible. Terrible. So like you were saying, yeah. We've got a little bit of a now problem, not so much a history problem.
So what's going on in the 25 layers between us and Dragon?
We had the salamanders kind of held off on the 40th for a while. And then they kind of came up through this hole, burst through a door we didn't know was there. And then that was on the 30th level, negative 30. They came down from above us, killed a bunch of our children. It was pretty bad. And
Torn up about it.
yeah, it was pretty bad. Then they came down on the rest of us, and the few of us that did escape up through the side stairs, we kind of regrouped and blockaded. And I imagine that the few that didn't escape, or the ones that didn't die, are now slaving away, so to speak.
So
There's
your
is a
whole
lot-
race here in the mountain essentially is being enslaved by these creatures.
Oh, just about. I think we had, about a month ago, we had about 1,000 strong. That's women and children.
Of
and-
deserters.
No, deserters.
Well, I mean, that's what they would call you, right?
Who would call us deserters? I mean, we're keeping the ashholds. We were people who were trading with Jelrin. I'm not exactly sure
Oh.
how you mean deserters.
I apologize. I thought I was under the impression that all of you were formerly being kept as slaves by the salamander men.
Oh, no. Some of us have experienced that, and you can see the ones that have escaped it, but most of them that were taken are still there or dead. Not exactly sure. They seem to be a bit adamant at getting more of us, so my bet is on they're probably dead.
Where's there?
Oh, it's down through the fireways. There's some type of what's it, Brimley? It's kind of chimes in. Well, it's kind of like a black rock, all right? And it's filled with these lizards. There's only a few ways in. It seems like it's like a city of theirs. Cold mockery of what we have here, but there's a forgery. There's the fire giant that's in there that kind of runs the furnace, but she's actually all right, and she knows her stuff. The only bad thing is, there's salamanders who cut your limbs off if you work too slow, or if you try to escape, and burn out your eyes. Oh, it's just all sorts of terrible stuff.
If you were to estimate, I mean, how many of these creatures are we talking about?
In total?
Like,
Oh, gosh.
are we in? Well, I need to know, like, order of magnitude, like tens, hundreds, thousands.
Brimley, speaking again, says, in my time there, which was actually a while back before this all became too big of a deal, there was probably 30 of them that I saw consistently, and maybe 5 of them that could speak Dwarvish instead of whatever their gutter speak is. Some type of Ignan, something like that. In any case, their numbers have definitely swelled since then. That was probably 100 years ago when I got taken, when we were mining down there. I'd put their numbers probably in the hundreds, maybe low 200s. Well, they're not all isolated in one spot, but when they come in here, they come in force. Usually packs of 25 to 30. And they obviously know something about how to get around in here. At least more than we do, which is kind of surprising. But you're here to take care of that, right? Kieran pops in. Kieran.
Well, short of extinction, like what?
No, extinction does sound nice. I mean, that's what they're trying to do to us. It certainly feels like.
Well, yeah, but it's a bit. It's quite the task for 5 good men.
She raises her tankard and points at Kiro. You're quite.
Yep.
I trust that you can take care of it.
You cut out. You just said you were quiet, and then you was quiet for like 4 seconds, and you said, "I trust you can take care of it."
You're quite
I got
the
notes.
man and woman So I would imagine you are capable of taking care of it. And
Well,
she
I
pointed
mean-
towards you because of your crown.
Yeah, but I don't think we can't just full out assault and kill
Well, then take
whole
out their
swaths of them.
leaders. I don't know. Genocide them one by one. I'm kind of running out of ideas here, and we're all running on a little bit of hopelessness, I suppose.
If we can handle the dragon, would you leave?
Oh, yes, most definitely. We have absolutely zero desire to stay here.
But all your people you still have tons of people who are enslaved down there, right? I mean,
That's true, but like you've just heard, there's some 100 of those salamanders down there. And while I'd love to go in and save my brothers and sisters, chances are they're probably dead.
Well, we could try to take care of the dragon, then you guys could like hole up on the surface for a while.
I wouldn't be opposed to it, but you're talking about taking care of this dragon now twice. How do you intend to do that? I mean,
Well-
you guys are impressive, but that thing is massive.
Well, during the trials, we kind of realized that that's like a corrupted version of a dragon that was friends with Dolometh. It really wanted the pearl, and I think we can use the pearl to like purify it potentially.
You're telling me that that's Sorendor the Great? That's not
Yes.
possible.
that's our theory, yeah. Why is it not
Disappeared
possible?
like 400 years ago.
He spent
Okay.
some time in a very bad place.
And when he disappeared, he was normal?
Yes, presumably. What's the story? Grimly, do you remember? Oh, something like they went into the shadow marches, searching for the thing that creates,
Yeah, the
draws in
light
the
well,
light.
yep,
Yeah, yes, that.
Yeah, we did that.
No, you didn't.
Well, that was
You-
one of the trials. You
Yeah, we
talked
had to
about in the
reenact
tower.
that.
We had to do all the things Dolometh did to get the crown.
That's
Took a very long time.
crazy. That doesn't sound believable. But I'll trust you. In any case, it doesn't really matter. That's probably not Sorendor. At least by my reckoning.
What
But
makes
that being said, can't really reckon. Grimly, you are just barely a little wee babe at your mother's teat. Do you remember what Sorendor looked like? You know, they say that he used to fly around in the Hollow Peaks. That's pretty nice. Must have been majestic times. Now we just have salamanders and these black dragons eating our kids. It's pretty great. If you can take care of the dragon, that'd be great. We'll leave post haste.
How many do you number? Like,
We've got a fighting force of about 55.
hmm.
Extras puts us somewhere in the 175 ballpark. We've got enough food for maybe 6 more weeks. So
Where do you
could.
where do you intend to go? Should we succeed in dealing with this dragon?
Well, that's actually a pretty good question.
Because
Don't imagine the rest of the Hollow Peaks are particularly good shape if this one's in a pretty bad shape.
no, we fought some nasty things on our way here.
Yeah,
and-
we were actually looking for some a mind flayer nest.
Oh, you're looking for the old city then.
I suppose.
Sure.
Oh, that's just a horror story and a half. So, but yeah, that's we know where that is. Sure.
Well, I just, my thought here is that we go up and we somehow take care of the dragon, and then, you're up there, but like the salamanders, they could just go up there as well. It's not really going to solve your problem, is it?
Not particularly. But you do have that crown, that shiny tidbit on your head. I imagine from the stories that I've heard, you can like create walls and bring down place. You basically control this mountain. Couldn't you like bring the whole mountainside down on the dragon and just kind of crush him or something?
I have no idea. I was given instructions by the image of, what was the elf's name?
Mercadian.
With the image of Mercadian, and he told me how to use an elevator, which is how we got down here. That's about it.
And probably how the salamanders are getting up here.
Well, that sounds bad, sort of. So you're saying that they're crawling through like a lift shaft, then?
Yeah, it goes all the way from 0 down to the very bottom where the forge is.
Well, that'll do it. Well, do you know? Could you point us to where this is? Maybe we could seal those areas. And she's kind of like looking over to Brimley, getting a good idea about what they're doing. Seal the corridors. And we do have a couple of scrolls still lying around. We could meld some stone, and it'd hold them off for a while. I mean, if you can take care of that dragon, we've got 55 strong. We can go through the Red Waste and out into Jelrin. Take us a week. Maybe less if we run. And we might lose some people. But if you're there with us, I'd like our chances more. The biggest thing that would be a problem for us is the purple worm popping out of the ground in the Red Waste. I think there's 3 of them left of the breeding bunch, so hopefully not more than 3. But
Do I know what a purple worm is?
Oh, it's like a really, really big worm.
Dune sandworm?
I know what it is.
It's a dune sandworm. Yeah, you know them. You know, you've heard stories of them. To the west of Salura and north of Jelrin, there is a sandy, kind of desolate desert, and it's been rumored that there are large purple worms there as well. They're pretty dangerous. But they usually keep away from the roads. I mean, again, I'm not exactly sure what that crown can do, but we've heard stories that say that you could like control the purple worms and stuff. So if that's the case, that'd be pretty sweet.
Do you guys have any sort of connections with like?
That might be a different kind of story.
Do you guys have any connections with like the dwarves in Jelrin? And you like hang out in the Blast Zone Inn for a while?
Yeah, I mean, we probably have cousins and shit there. So I think that's where one of the last little ash blood went, but I'm not sure. Not that really matters. In any case, yes, it doesn't really matter where we go as long as it's like anywhere but here.
Fair enough.
Well, what makes you so sure that's not Sorendor, the dragon up there? Because if it's not, our chances of dealing with it are significantly diminished, I would say.
She kind of shrugs. Just by the stories, I mean, Sorendor is a silver dragon. He's the hero. He's lifelong friends with Dolometh. You never betray his trust or anything like that. I mean, they were like brothers, essentially. You know, brothers can be because, you know, the one's a dwarf, the other's a dragon. But they hung out a lot, and Sorendor helped create this place.
Well, I'm not insinuating
go around eating our dwarves, or eating his kin. I mean, that's
also out of curiosity. What do you guys know about Mercadian?
Mercadian, she kind of shakes her head, grimly looks over. That's the dwarf. No, he was an elf who was friends with Dolometh as well. Kind of taught him how to do a lot of the stuff that he did. and he also helped build this place. But his role, at least in the stories, was a little bit less. Not sure how much it is just that they wanted to kind of pin it on Dolometh, but I mean, he's an elf. How much could he know about stonework? No offense.
I know nothing about stonework.
Fair enough. So, we don't have any definitive proof one way or another.
Let's go investigate.
And how do you plan on doing that?
Investigate where?
Well, we can go up to the surface and, peek through the door and try to parlay with him.
I don't think he parlays. Matter of fact, we tried to talk with him. That's what I heard from the gate captain, who, after seeing a dragon trying to rip down the door, attempted to parlay with him. He ducked. The rest of his crew didn't, and they turned into, well, shades or something. And so he ran screaming from his post and came down to us.
Yeah, that's kind of why we think it might be Sorendor. See, I don't know about you, but I've never heard of a dragon that, tears, is like a death dragon. Shadow
I've heard
dragon.
quite a few stories about death dragons. That's kind of like the main story that I hear about them. But that's just me. I mean, honestly, I've never expected to see a real dragon like that in my entire life. It's a thing of pure terror. But I can only imagine the reverse would be true if he was actually on your side. It's your funeral and probably ours too if you fail. So just take it with a bit of caution. That's all I got to say. Alternatively, if you do want to go deal with the salamanders, that would also be great. But still leaves us with the problem of the dragon. So
I mean, it is possible it's not Sorendor. Based on the fact that
he knew about the pearl, he knew about the crown, he knew about the tower.
The part that's goofy there, though, is that we were acting under the assumption that he got corrupted in the Shadow Fell, but the kingdom hadn't even begun to be constructed at that point when he went to the Shadowfell, right?
No, that's not exactly right. When they went to go get the light well, or light anchor, or whatever it is, it's actually what powers this place still to this day. I think we saw some of the light kind of comb through the structure. What was it? It was about 5 hours ago. Anyways, that thing, that source of power, wasn't always here, and really only happened towards the end of Dolomit's life. And they made some weapons or something. I'm not exactly sure what they did with it, but it's can carve. I'm not sure what it does. It concentrates the power of the sun into a weapon, essentially. And as far as I know, Sorendor did not come back from that adventure. So
what was whatever was in the sarcophagus with the light well may have been a little nasty.
Well, then it sounds like it is him to me, based on that information. What's the worst that could happen if we try? I mean,
death,
dismemberment,
something like that.
What are we waiting for?
Herpes.
Nah, no. Talking about using extremely powerful magic to attempt to purify the dragon, not engage it in combat. We would consider engaging it The worst that could happen if it failed is that we lose extremely powerful magic, and then we have to decide if we want to engage in combat.
And the answer is no.
What's this extremely powerful magic that you have that can purify a shadow-defied dragon?
The something with the crown.
Personal.
Interesting. Well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that's truly the crown of Dolometh. It's supposed to do quite a bit. In any case, we really appreciate all the help you could give us. We're kind of fucked if you don't, so just kind of gives you a big smile. We're at your disposal. I can free up 10 hands if you need some guides around here or whatever you'd like to do.
Could we have a minute just to chat amongst ourselves and kind of figure out our course of action and get back to you?
Certainly. Thank you. And she kind of steps up, nods to her companions who are sitting with her. They move on.
By the way, Tom,
They
thanks
look
for
like
not
they're
trying to do a female Scottish accent.
Yeah. No problem.
So, what do you guys think?
We should help Sorendor.
Yeah, let's just deal with the dragon.
I mean, if that is him, he did help us through Mercadian's
Bullshit, yes.
illusion. So we know he's good at heart, and if something bad happened to him, we owe him some. I mean, maybe we don't owe him, but I don't see.
I mean,
any use.
if he didn't talk to us about Mercadian, we may have used the wish on, bringing Mercadian back, which may have
I
been.
mean, how are
fucking-
we going to, how are we going to accomplish that? Yes.
I mean, Tom, you
Well,
you
the
told
dragon
us that
still
when.
expects us to come back to him, so he's expecting our company and will presumably, because of that, not instantly kill us, which will allow us to get a chance to talk to him and maybe even calling him the name Sorendor. He might, it might be one of those, he hasn't even heard that name in a while kind of thing. It might.
I mean,
It might intrigue him enough to let us have a longer discussion with him.
I mean, we
If it is
saw
him, we
these.
can purify him.
We saw these two versions of this being within 4 days, so we should be able to recognize if they're similar.
Yeah. You didn't get a particularly great look at Sorendor, presumably. The first time that you
I think it was super
spoke
dark.
with him, he was incredibly dark. But based on the facial structure of the creature, it could have been him. Like that was something that you guys kind of talked about when you first saw Sorendor in the illusion.
Yeah.
How about the voice?
You guys had asked. The voice, again, it could have been the same voice. There's definitely a difference. But, how many
more
dragons
wondering,
did you talk to?
Is there any way for us to specifically know how we would even begin to do this? I would think that if the wish is as powerful as so supposed to be, we wouldn't actually even need to be anywhere fucking near him for it to happen.
Yeah, presumably.
But I mean, we'd want to be at a reason, we want to be able to get
See
to him
the
at
effects.
some point. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think this wish is going to let me throw in an if and then refund me if it doesn't work.
No, I don't think so.
It did
Also means
reject a
the
wish
wording
that it
is
deemed impossible.
quite suspicious.
Okay, that is
specific,
true.
right?
When we were in the pyramid thing.
But that could have been just the limitations of the dome or of the illusion that you were in. So it's tough to tell. But I'll leave it there so you guys can actually discuss this more over the course of the week. Come up with a plan if you want to. And yeah. You can definitely type it in general discussion. Yeah.
Do what now?
In any case, it is 11 o'clock. So let's call it there. Or, I know, whatever it is, time is for you. And we'll pick it up next Thursday.
Sweet.
Sweet. Great sesh.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I know. My ash.
Oh, and
my ash. My car is covered in ash.
Oh, I thought you were talking about how the leaves are slowly starting to turn.
No.
yeah, normal
have that
things. Normal things. Right?
Yeah, my car is completely covered in ash this morning.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
Not
terrible,
completely,
actually.
but the windshield
I'll be right
has
back.
definitely got some ash.
I'll be back.
Yeah. It's been fucking ridiculous. I don't smell it though. But the sky is like orange. No, it's been not like, it's not crazy, but it's definitely not, I'd say it's in between yellow and orange. No, it looks like there's a filter over the world. Like, what is that one stupid filter that the
Sepia,
yeah,
sepia, whatever.
Yeah.
Because,
This is it.
guys, I don't watch the news. It's just like fucking. There's like fires in Oregon or some shit. Is that what it is?
oh yeah, there's a fire in
California
closest one
and
to us is
Oregon, I
San
think.
Bernardino.
Yeah.
Hey Alexa, what is the closest wildfire?
I don't get why there's so many fucking problems with that shit.
It's because they don't do control burns.
6
So
miles away from me.
instead of having certain patches of forest where if that catches fire, it doesn't
Oh,
move
wait, no,
other
she did
places,
that.
it just goes wherever it wants.
All I know is LA sounds so scuffed, dude. Like,
LA
so
sucks.
I tuned in to the LCS finals or whatever the fuck that was going on the other
Yeah,
weekend,
the placement matches or whatever. Playoffs.
and the like one of the they lost power because like apparently the power companies are just doing like rolling blackouts because it's too hot. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. By the way, think about that for a second. Does that make sense?
That's the dumbest.
That's
No,
like
it
the
makes no
opposite of
sense.
making sense. Like, oh, it's
If it was
too hot
too
out, so
cold,
we'll
the
just
shit
shut
wouldn't
power
work.
off for people that need air conditioning. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like there's some like issues with that shit.
California's fucking a third world country, essentially.
Definitely odd.
Thanks, Pelosi.